If anybody knows about Lehman Brothers, the rest is a disaster. And here I am out of work. My name's Kathryn Balles, and I'm a young 57. I grew up in New Jersey, Guttenberg, New Jersey, a small little German town, 4x4. The argument that I had at career day at high school, when my best girlfriends today were still girlfriends, Maria was going to be a teacher and Joanne was going to be a nurse, and my mother said, "Why can't you be a nurse or teacher like Joanne and Maria?" That I knew right, I just didn't, that wasn't for me. Went to school, graduated, and from there I got a job at Morgan Stanley. When I got the job at Morgan Stanley, I thought I was the hottest thing next to roasted chestnuts on the block, because the office overlooked Radio City Music Hall. And when I was growing up, my mother would take us every Easter Monday to Radio City Music Hall. And when I sat in that office, I looked out at the street. It was the same corner that I pictured my mother holding us, Stanley on one hand, and me with that hat and the patent leather pocketbook, as little kids. And I just got so overwhelmed, because who would have ever told the future who could have ever dreamt that as a little kid, turn around and in that window, I would be sitting there with a job at Morgan Stanley. I was a site manager, and what a site manager does is keep the building open. I interacted with brokers, whatever needed to get done, I got done. I was majorly responsible for pitch books. When they turned deals, now I'm going to say in those days, it was the 90s, the deals that were made were equal to the size of Rhode Island. Oh, it was terrific money. I mean, it was great. They'd pick me up in limousines and send me home in limousines. Then one day I got a phone call from a headhunter. He said, "You have the job." And I said, "What job?" He said, "General manager for the division." They were just starting a new division in Secaucus for annuity, Equitable. So I grew that business from there, and it was one of the most successful products that Equitable had. They're still in Secaucus. So came to California, started the job, and what it was to do the same thing for MetLife that we did for Equitable, to start annuities. So we worked for a year in 2000, but then in September it was 9/11, and that's when my career accelerated down, because the whole thing stopped with MetLife. It just wasn't going to happen. I was ready to leave California. I said, I am done. "Kathryn, you're never going to believe it. A job came in." I said, "The Lehman Brothers?" "The Lehman Brothers." And I had to ask him 3 or 4 times, because I never heard of Lehman Brothers here in Orange County. Well, it was Lehman Brothers. And now I thought, this is the end all. Now I'm employed for the rest of my life. I have a job that is made in heaven. The man that I'm working for is absolutely the best. The place is the best. It's 77 people. I don't have to worry. I mean, it was just commercial mortgages. There's nothing I could say more. I loved my job, and it just took a few greedy people to make the wrong decisions, to take the whole company down. Like a tsunami that came over everybody. I went from making $150,000 to living barely, on $25,000, barely. It's completely destroyed my personal life, my career, my social life. I mean, thankfully, with the close friends and family and faith, I just believe that I'm going to recover. But how fortunate and blessed I am to have people around me that are willing to pay my rent. I'm married, my husband had, but I don't have the health insurance that I had before. We don't have any of the benefits. We don't have anything. Nothing. I have had like some jobs that have come in. So referrals, they come in, but they're not. It's consulting work, short term. So, it comes in, but I feel that work will happen. I'm on the cusp of good things to happen. I really do feel it in my heart, but hasn't happened yet. So.